Happy Halloween, everybody. This is AutoCAD Halloween Shapes. In this activity, we're going to be taking a few different Halloween-themed objects. We're going to draw them in AutoCAD and just kind of have some fun with it. So first thing you want to do is download this. I already have it, and I'm going to just open mine up for you. And when it's downloaded, it's going to look like this when you first open it. It's missing the drawings. We're going to recreate those. So over here, this is what it looks like when it's all done. So I'm going to refer back and forth to here as I'm copying this. This first one is the tombstone. So I'm going to draw with polyline. I'm going to start in this top corner. I kind of like starting there. Oh, you know what? First things first, I'm in the wrong tab. Right now this is the print preview, and I can draw on this, but it's better to draw in model. I'm going to draw my model tab, so it'll look all dark theme. So polyline, click up here, and this should be 2 inches, tab, 90, enter. I'll go this way, 2 inches, tab, enter. Straight up, 2 inches, tab, 90, enter. And then I want this to be an arc, so I'm going to hit the down drop and then select the arc tool, just the first one. I'm going to click here, well, type in 2, tab, 180, enter. And it should automatically select there. So there we go, we've got that. Now we're going to fill it in using hatch tool. So hatch tool is found right here. Click on that, and you can use kind of really whatever is fine. It doesn't have to be the same as what I've got in the example, but I like to make this gray. So I click in there, and that will highlight it and turn it all the same color. Click enter, and that's our tombstone. So if I go to final drawing, it'll show up here. That's great. And don't worry about putting you don't want to put the text in on here. You're going to put it in this area. So text, I'm going to go right here where it says text at the down drop, multi-line text, draw a little text box, and then I'm just going to write RIP, which is an acronym for rest in peace, if you didn't know that. And then you can change the typeface. I kind of like using romantic because it looks a little more like, spooky. And I can change the color to black, and if I want to change the size, I can, while it's highlighted, I can type it in right here, or I can type in a specific value or use a pre-selected one. I found that 0.5 works pretty good for this. Let's try that again. 0.5, enter. Yeah, there we go. And then I can also center it, so it looks like that. And justification, I can just make it like middle center is probably good. Cool. There's your RIP. Cool. Next one is model. We're going to do the coffin. I'm going to kind of zoom this in here, and I'm going to go to drawings again, and I'm going to start with a hexagon, and I'm going to basically alter it. So I'm going to go here, and then type in hexagon for 6, enter, click, and it's going to ask me on inscribed or circumscribed, and I kind of like the circumscribed one because it's easier to make this stand straight up and down like that. So I'm going to put it right here and just kind of estimate for now. And then I'm going to go to my parametric and make sure I've got a few things set up. So first I want this here to be vertical so it always stays up and down. I want this one also to be vertical right here. And now if I try to stretch this, click this handle here, that'll stay upright, which is nice. I can pull this one that way a little bit. I'm also going to use my equal constraint and say this one needs to be equal to that one. Do the same thing here. So spacebar to reselect it, equal and equal. Awesome. And then I'm going to start copying the dimensions I see. So I've got the overall length is 3, and then the shoulder here is 2.25. So this is where we're going to use dimensions in, and this is important, that's in the parametric tab. If we go to the annotate tab, there are dimensions here, but these ones won't change anything. They essentially just measure. They just put notes on it. Parametric, however, will drive it. So that's what we want. We want linear for this one. I'm going to go from here to here, and then I'm going to type in 2.25 and hit enter. and that should change it just a little bit. Then we're going to go to linear dimension again. I'm going to go from this corner to this corner, and I want it to be 3 inches, so 3, enter. It's a little bit kind of stout there, which is perfect. Then I'm going to do the width here. So it looks like this is a 1/4 inch from here to here, and then this is 1 inch from there to there. And then these endpoints are 0.75 inches. So let's try that. I'm going to go back here and linear, and I'm going to make this one and this one 0.75, enter. And I guess I could make these two equal as well. So if I go equal constraint and click this one here and there, that will automatically make them the same. Next, let's go linear. I'm going to say this to this point needs to be 1/4, so 0.25. Nice, it looks like it's following suit, which is good. Linear again, I'm going to say this one and this one needs to be 0.25. Enter. And it may already have our angles figured out, but I'm not sure. It's looking pretty good though. So it says that this is an 84-degree angle and this is a 72-degree angle. So it may get angry at us if we try this because it will put too many dimensions on it. But we'll go to this one that's an angle, or angular. So not linear, but angular. I'm going to click here and here, and it says it's 84. I'm just going to hit enter, and it did get mad at us, which is okay. So it just says this will over constrain the geometry. It will add too many rules. So I can create a reference right here. So it's in parentheses. It just means that this is basically just an annotation is kind of what that's done. Let's go here and here for this next one. It says it's 72. It'll probably get mad at us again, and we can just create a reference, and that's fine. Great. So we've got it. So we'll go back to home, use our hatch, and I'm going to use, there isn't really a brown on here, so I can use more colors and kind of find like an orangish brown or whatever. And kind of go there. And then click OK. And I click in here, boom, and enter. There we go. So now if I go back to my final drawing, we've got our nice looking coffin, good enough to sleep in, but we've got one problem, and that is that all of these dimensions are showing up, right? So these are good, kind of. The one problem is we can't really arrange these to make them look nice and pretty like we see in this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Model, and I am just going to deselect, or sorry, if I go to Parametric, I can turn off the constraints. I can say Show All or Hide All. So I got rid of the constraints, and then over here I can say Hide or Show the dimensions, and I'm going to hide all. And that will get rid of them here and here, so it just leaves us with the geometry, which is nice and clean. So, cool, huh? Alright, so we're going to go back to this one, and we're going to do the ghost, and I think the ghost might be my favorite. The ghost is composed of 3 arcs, and we have to be really careful to make sure that they're all connected. So, and notice this part here, it says eyes and mouth are up to the designer, so those ones are optional, you don't have to do those, but they're kind of fun to create and make your own character. So, you know, back here, and I'm going to start with just some arcs. So I'm going to go Home, Arc, and I kind of like using the this one where it says Start and Direction. So you can start, you know, by putting a point here and then a point here and then telling it like how far to go. I kind of like that one. It just feels like you have more control. So then I'm going to draw another one. It's going to be a bigger arc like this. And then I'm going to draw a final arc. I can hit space, I guess, to reselect it. And it clicks here and here. I got to make sure that it's kind of close like that, more or less. So notice we've got some real small issues here. Oh, you know what? I did a bad thing. You can probably tell what I did. I'm in the wrong view here. So I am going to highlight these, Control X. Let's go to Model. Control V. Nice, that's where we want to see it. All right, so I've got a couple problems here, and that is that my endpoints, if I try to click and drag on these, they're not, these are all separate pieces. Not one of these is actually connected, so it won't act as the same unit, which will make it harder for us to draw, to fill in and stuff. So I'm going to go to parametric, and the first thing I want to do is make sure that all of these are linked. So I'm going to use the coincident just found here. I'm going to click on this endpoint, boom, this endpoint here, bam, spacebar, I'll do that again, boom, bam, spacebar, boom, bam. Nice. So now if I click on one of these lines, yeah, that's good. So they're all together, which is a good thing. And then these lines, I want to use tangent between these ones. That's going to be an important feature. So I'm going to say tangent, click here and here. Awesome. And then we go tangent, here and here. And now if I like resize this at all, it's going to stay tangent, which is good. So now we've got a working polyline, essentially is what we've created, and we can add in all of our dimensions. So back here, it looks like it goes 3 inches, or sorry, 2.5 on this one, 1.5, and then 0.75. So I'm just going to do this one at a time. So I'll go 0.75, 1.5, 2.5. So that one, I'm going to use this under parametric right here. And this one's 0.75, so 0.75, enter. And then I'll do the next one here, which was 1.5 for the radius. 1.5, enter. And then this one down here, which is 2.5, enter. Cool. So we've got those. That's looking pretty good. We do have a couple of other dimensions here. This one's 1.5 from this point to that point. And then down here from the tail to kind of like, we'll say that's the belly button. And that one's 3 inches. So 1.25 and 3. So we go linear from here to here. And that was 1.5. Is that right? I feel like that's too much. Oh, yep, that's way too much. 0.75. So if I goof on these, I can always double click on them and just type in 0.75. And oh, wow. That is a twisted mess. We're just going to hit Control Z a few times. There we go. Okay, let's do that one more time. Linear from here to here, 0.75, enter. That's better. And then from tail to belly button is 2, I believe. If I remember right, 2. Not, I can change it. Nope, it's 3. So let's change that to 3. Double click, 3, enter. That's better. All right, and it's okay if it is kind of, twisted a little bit. You may need to grab an endpoint like this and just kind of, let's see. Yeah, kind of like that. We can rotate this too, but that's probably fine for this. This isn't exactly the same, but it's okay. So we'll go ahead and let's use, actually really quick, I'm going to see what would happen if I rotate this. I probably have to delete this one first. And let's say home, rotate. I'm going to select all of this, right click, specify the base. Cool. Then let's try that again. I'm going to put my dimension in, parametric line from here to here. And that one was 0.75. This feels like it's off a little bit. Oh, 1.25. There we go. Okay. That's a lot of work to get that the right angle, but we've figured it out. So, okay. So what we're going to do now is hatch. So go home, hatch. I'm going to click right here, and here, and here. and sometimes that's kind of what you have to do. I found the color I found the best for the ghost was this like white green, so it's kind of like this, I don't know, so it'll stand out against the paper, because the final drawing in here is if it's just white, it won't look any different. So this kind of greeny white is cool. So model, I'm also going to turn off the dimensions, so show all, or sorry, hide all. Now they'll go away. Same with hide all in that. Great. So we go to final drawing. It looks good. And then just for fun, you can fast forward if you're not interested in this, but if you were interested in giving this guy some cool eyes, I like to do it this way. So if I go to home and I draw ellipse, so I'm going to draw one like this, I'm going to draw off to the side and then bring it over. So like one like that, and then I'm going to copy, enter, click, enter, this, and then escape. And then I'm going to add another, let's do a circle up here. That. And then I'm going to use trim. And I can go like this. It'll leave me with these cool, mean looking eyes. And then I can add, oh, sorry, I'm going to do this first. And then change it to something kind of spooky, or let's try red. That's very spooky. And well, no, because then I got to make the mouth. So let's do black. So black, and then I can highlight these and move them over, put them in there. You can also scale them and resize them and all that good stuff. I can delete that too if I want, and then it'll show up. And like I said, the eyes can be kind of whatever you want. Same with the mouth. Does not have to look the same as the drawing. Just kind of have some fun with it. Wow, this is looking really weird though. There we go. Then hatch. That one. Cool. So there's our ghost. We love it. Looks great. Okay. And then the last one is the witch's hat. So the witch's hat is, it's a little complicated, but I think it's easier than the ghost in some ways. So if we go to Halloween drawings, we go to this one, and I apologize, these dimensions are horrendous. They look awful. So they're just really all over the place, and it makes it hard to draw these things, so hard to interpret it. So let's draw this, and let's make just like the basic outline first, and then let's go back and add dimensions afterwards. So kind of like we did with the ghost. So I'm going to draw this using polyline, and I'm going to start up at the top here. It goes down, and then it kind of comes out like this to fan out. Goes like this, comes up like that, goes at an angle, and there's a little flat section, and then it goes like this to connect. And then I hit enter. So I've got this polyline, and polylines are very useful because it automatically links all the corners together, except for sometimes it'll, well, actually this seems to be working. So if it does break, which sometimes it does that, you can use your parametric and connect those dots again right here. So first I'm going to make a couple things equal. I want this to be equal to that. So those ones are always going to be equal. I want this to always be horizontal, so I'm using a horizontal constraint here, and this one as well, this little hang, like overhang thing. Yeah, I think we're probably good to start adding in dimensions. So I'm going to go linear first, and let's say that this here and this here needs to be 4.5, enter. and that's okay that this guy goofed up. We're going to fix that in just a minute. So that's 4.5. These are both, so this little brim part is 1.5 on both sides, so we can add that one. And this one I'm going to use aligned. So aligned is important. Aligned is, it means that it doesn't go straight vertical or horizontal. It follows the line, that's the name aligned. So if we go like this, it will come like that. So I'm going to type in 1.5, or no, 1.25, enter. Let me double check that's correct. 1.5, I got it wrong. So 1.5, and then aligned again, here and here, 1.5, and notice that it's already there. If I hit enter, it's going to say this will over-constrain, and that's because we already told it to be equal, so we're giving it two commands to do the same thing. So I'm just going to leave it as a reference so that I know that it's correct. Next is going to be the angle between here and there. If I remember right, it's 25 degrees. It is. So I'm going to type in, or I'm going to use angle here, here, and here, and type in 25, enter. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Enter. And then we're going to get this angle in here, which I believe is 125, and it is. So I'm going to go angle again, and from here to here, pull that out. It's going to be 125, enter. Oh, see, there's the break I was worried about. We can fix that in just a second. And then we're going to go 125 from here to here. And then I believe this one on the underhang here is 80. So from here to here is 80 degrees. It's already there. I think it's because we had the horizontal constraint. So if I hit enter, it's going to say this is over constrained. It is. So I'm just going to leave it as a reference. And then that overhang there is 1.25 inches. So I'm going to do linear this time because it's a flat line. It's 1.25, enter. Good. So then I need the length of this line right here. And that one is 2.25. So I'm going to go aligned because it's an angled line. So here to there. And it's 2.25, enter. And we're looking pretty good. But we got to get this top peak here to connect. And it doesn't tell us the angle here or the length or the angle there. So we just have to connect these two lines using coincident. So I'm going to click there, click this endpoint and that endpoint, and it should snap together and give us the hat. And we're looking pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and say hatch. So go to home, hatch, and you can use again whatever color floats your boat. Maybe this time I'll do kind of like a, I don't know, like a light brown, so it looks kind of like the sorting hat. Click there, right click, and enter. Cool. Oh, that's kind of the same as the coffin, isn't it? Maybe we'll make it yellow. That's fun. So we'll try that instead. Hatch. It's like gross green color. And then that's great. So there it is. And then you're probably wondering, how do we do the this little part? And it's very similar to how we did the ghost's eyes. We're going to jump in here, and I'm going to draw a polyline. And I'm just going to draw a shape over here that follows this. And it doesn't have any measurements on this, so you can kind of just make it up. And then just connect it as a space like that. Right click and enter. And then hatch, and I'm going to use black this time. And then click that one, right click, enter, and final drawing looks like that, but I got to get rid of all my dimensions. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to say, well, oh, turn off the parametric, hide all, and hide all. There we go. So we've got those four, and then that is all you need to do for those. The last one you get to make up. So the last one can be a jack-o'-lantern, it could be a just a pumpkin, it could be a cauldron, it could be another version of like a ghost or a tombstone or a bat or whatever, piece of candy, just something that's on theme and is at least as challenging as the things that we did just now. Okay, and then once you've got that drawn, we'll just pretend I finished mine. Right here I'm going to just type in all caps, Halloween. And then we're going to go to the class, type in which class it is. And this could be like A1 or whatever, or B2. And then drawn by. Type your name in there. Make sure that this is large enough. You might have to stretch out a little bit. And then date. Today just so happens to be 10/28/25. So it's probably a different date for you. And we'll hit enter, or not enter, just put it off to the side. And there we go. Looks really good. So the dimensions are not required on this. So the dimensions are shown here, but you don't have to do it in your drawing. It can just be this, and that's fine. So once you're ready to submit, you go output, export, PDF, and then submit it as or save it as an AutoCAD, and as a PDF, and submit it to Canvas right here. And that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and happy Halloween.